Lighting good?
Yay, we are now live. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. We're going to get started shortly, but first, I just want to introduce you all to Miss Mirtha Bailey with the University of Central Florida School of Public Administration here today. Mirtha, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lasheena. Thank you, Ms. Williams. I am excited to be here and to be coming to you live to discuss how our partnership, how you can partner with the School of Public Administration at UCF.
Awesome. So we're just going to give it a few minutes, Mirtha, before we get started. And if you are tuning in, don't forget to tag your friends into this live today, because you definitely want to. I'm telling you, fortunately, my organization, Love Our Youth, we've been able to work with UCF in so many different capacities. And I'm just excited to have Mirtha on here today to talk about some of those opportunities that you all can have to work with the University of Central Florida. So please tag your friends, your nonprofit friends into this live. If you have to invite them on to the group, invite them to the group, and then go ahead and tag them so that they can hear what we're talking about today. If you're catching this on replay, give us a hashtag replay in the comments. And we're going to get started shortly. And while we're waiting, feel free to drop where you are from, where you're tuning in from. And of course, as we go, if you have any questions, let us know. And hey, Sarah, I see that you are in. All right, I see we have some tuning in. Hey, everyone, good morning. Good morning. And we're going to get started shortly. Today, we're going to be talking about the resources at the University of Central Florida. Mirtha's going to share some of those resources with you all. So you definitely want to hear about this. And as a reminder, this month, our theme is Volunteer Management Month. So one of the areas that we'll be discussing is the service learning, having students come in and work with organizations. So that's why the timing of this, I think, is perfect as we all work on our volunteer programs and growing our volunteer programs. So we'll get started shortly. We're going to give it a few more minutes, Mirtha, and then we're going to get started. I just want to allow some time for everyone to kind of come in so they can catch the beginning of the conversation.
Sounds good.
Good. Again, if you're catching our replay, give us a hashtag replay. Hey, Sarah, I see you there. All right, I see we have a few. So let's go ahead and get started, Mirtha. So thank you so much for coming on. I'm just excited that we're able to share this resource with the Nonprofit Enthusiast family today. If you don't mind just kind of starting out, just talking about the resources available to nonprofit organizations through the University of Central Florida.
Okay, well, thank you, Lasheena. I am so happy to be here. And thank you for the invite to be here and to talk about how nonprofit organizations can better connect with UCF. So I'm with UCF School of Public Administration. Within our school, we have several different public service specializations. But one that I'll be speaking on more today is our nonprofit management program. We also have the Center for Public and Nonprofit Management, who also works with the county, Orange County in Orlando, to help newer nonprofits with capacity building. So we have several different avenues and reaches where we can kind of provide resources and help nonprofits. However, today, the topic of discussion is our service learning project. So many people are familiar with getting interns, right? Everyone wants an intern. You want to get an intern to help you with building capacity or to work on a particular project. Interns are amazing. They're great, but they also require a lot of man hours on your part to manage and supervise and give them tasks to complete. However, with service learning is a bit different. And for those of you who are not familiar with service learning is a curriculum-based program where it's actually part of the actual course itself, where the faculty is teaching a particular subject area within the program that happens to deal with, let's say it's a strategic plan, right? They're teaching their class on the strategic plan. Instead of just going through the theory of it and just going through showing examples, what we actually do is we embed students within agencies, usually nonprofit agencies, but sometimes local government. And those students reach out and connect with those agencies, and they work collaboratively with the leadership of that agency to together work on creating a strategic plan, creating the mission, the vision, what is a threat, what is the weakness. So they work on this amazing project, and they're working with you for the entire semester, which can go from either 12 weeks during the summer or 15 to 16 weeks during fall and winter. You will have the students have benchmarks they have to meet in order to complete the project on time. The agency partner and the student group collaborate on, or fix their own schedule times to meet, right? So you don't have to meet every week or every day, but you set up a good schedule when to meet. At the end of this relationship, this collaborative effort, working on this project, the students will then present it to your leadership or your board of directors. And I can tell you that it's a top-notch project. Like I said before, students are guided by faculty. So each step of the way, each benchmark that the student reaches or meet is reviewed by faculty to ensure that they're in compliance and that the work is quality work, right? Because they're doing this for a grade, but they're also doing it for the learning experience, the experiential learning part of it. All of this, collaboration, all of this work partnership is absolutely free, or how they say gratis in some cultures.
Yes.
In some cultures it's gratis, but it is completely free of charge, because it's a mutually beneficial relationship, right, Lasheena, that we're creating here between students and the partners. So I'll go down a list of what projects we have, and then maybe Lasheena and I could kind of talk about her experience as a service partner, because she's one of our amazing partners, and she knows it from another angle. So I touched on strategic planning. There's strategic planning. There's volunteer management, which I believe is the highlighted topic of the month. So there's volunteer management. There's board governance and ethics. There's also nonprofit evaluation and program evaluation. And there's also human resource, right? If your agency is big enough to where you're hiring people, you're taking people on, we have a human resource course that does a strategic planning project that you can benefit from. Most of our strategic service learning courses are graduate level. So you're pretty much working with students who have already completed their bachelor's degrees. They're probably working in the field. They're looking to get more knowledge, or they're transitioning into a different area. But these students are coming with their own set of innovative ideas, experiences, life experiences that they can impart on your nonprofit and on the project. So that's the program that we have in terms of service learning. And we're always recruiting. And I can share my contact information with you all, or the link with Miss Lasheena. Maybe she'll get it out to you. Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell. I know I can go on forever, but I wanted to make sure that I kind of save some time for any questions and back and forth.
Yep. And I shared in the chat box, I shared the form to sign up as a service learning partner. And something I want to mention, and maybe Mirtha, you could just confirm that you do not have to be in Orlando, Florida to be a service learning partner.
That is correct. You do not have to be in Orlando, Florida. You do not have to be in Central Florida. All we ask of our partners is a couple things. So thank you for asking that question. We ask that you are a registered 501c3. You have to be registered because you have to be a viable nonprofit, right? You can be a new nonprofit, but you have to at least have gone that far and done that part of it. We also ask that you have a web page, even if that web page is a Facebook page, Because a lot of times when I add you to the list of service learning agencies, students will do their own research. Students will look you up. They'll want to know what your mission is. They want to know what you're about, because they're going to dedicate, 4 months to helping you to do something. They want to make sure that, it's a mission that speaks to them, right? That they're passionate about. So definitely make sure you have some type of social media presence. And even if you're new, it's okay that you're new, but having, I don't want to say it's a business plan, but having, even if it's not what you consider a really professional or a really final strategic plan, but definitely know what your organization's mission, vision is, and what it is that you are providing for the public, what services you're providing, because students will want to know that. And students, you will usually go for agencies who they feel, some kind of connection with, or the mission speaks to them. On that note, I'm going to say this: there's no guarantee that you're going to be selected for a service learning project. A lot of times, students will work with their employers, or they'll work with an agency they volunteered with before that they just have a relationship with or an affinity for. So there's no guarantee that you will be connected with a group. However, on the chance that you are connected with the group, it is a semester-long relationship, and communication is definitely key. And let's say you apply to become a service learning partner, but you're not selected for, let's say, summer, because summer semester is coming up. I will keep you on that list. Don't worry about it. Don't, panic. You will remain on the list for the next semester. So if we missed you for summer, we'll pick you up for the fall semester, right? Until we at least complete one project with you, I keep you on that list. And you can apply for multiple projects. You can say, hey, I need some help with grant writing. I think I left off grant writing as one of our projects, but let's say you need
yes.
grant writing. and that's the most
That's
important
a big one,
right?
yes.
That's a big one. It's just heavy that I left off grant writing. Grant writing, however, is not offered in the summer. It's really offered just in the springtime, because it is such a great need for it. Unfortunately, we only have one faculty who teaches it, and it's offered in the spring. But let's say you're looking to get a grant writing project completed, but you also want to do the strategic plan, right? Because your strategic plan will serve as like the basis for that grant writing, course. It's okay. You can do both programs within a given semester. However, your people management, time management skills are going to be tested, because you may be working with anywhere between 4 to 6 students within, 2 separate student groups. And so you might have a lot of information coming at you, and you have to, disseminate as well. So it's important that if you're planning on working on multiple projects within a given semester, that you allow adequate time management so that you can get the most out of the project and the students can get the most out of your agency. So we can, give you a world-class final product at the end of it. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Any other questions?
Yeah, so I'm just going to go to the chat box really quick. So we have, hi, Martina, see you saying good morning. Jennings saying that is great information. Dolly, really good information. Abigail, the students that we've worked with have been so amazing. Hey, Abigail at Steps Foundation. And Martina, that is awesome information. Thank you all for tuning in. Yes, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box. And you'll see that I placed the form. If you are interested in the UCF Service Learning Program, you can complete that form that has been dropped in the Dropbox as well, in the chat box, sorry, as well. That is great. Yeah, Mirtha, the Service Learning Program is just absolutely amazing. I've had the opportunity to participate. I believe it's been 2 years now since we've been participating in it. And I love when the students come and then their enthusiasm for the project. one of the things I know when they came 2 years ago, we had a strategic plan, but not as robust as it is right now. And, and that's truly because of the groups that kind of came in and worked with us on this process. And the key thing that I really like is the time that they put into researching. Like, as nonprofit professionals, sometimes we don't have time. We're trying to manage the program. We're trying to, keep everything afloat, where we don't have time to kind of dive into those, like the research component. So they done a lot of research to kind of, make sure that we're heading in the right direction. And every once in a while, when students come back, they get to kind of refresh it for us if needed. But so the strategic planning program has been amazing. I'm trying to think of some other ones. We did the volunteer management case study, which is awesome, because for our program, especially this month is a perfect month to talk about it. Because I know with our organization, we rely very, very heavily, like a lot of nonprofits, on volunteers, and them being able to take a look at our volunteer program and kind of make recommendations for the program is absolutely fabulous. And they know I look at every report. And that's one thing I'm telling you all, if you sign up for it, don't just sign up to sign up. Like, really make the most of it, because the what they're doing at no cost, I can tell you, cost a lot. Will cost your organization a lot to work with, even if you work with us, to put one. So I'm telling you, this is free, a free service. And it's really important that if you do, like, let's say, the strategic planning process or any of these processes, that you really dedicate your time to it to make sure that you make the most of the experiences. So yeah, we've been able to do that. We've done the ethics and governance, which is they looked at the governance of the nonprofit, make some recommendations there. And it's good. And sometimes it's also reassuring to know, okay, we're on the right track and here's where we want to go. So I love working with the students. And then just, I always like, and just from a from like a nonprofit point of view, for you all, when you get ready to participate in this program and the students come in, schedule some time to speak with the students, so that way they can tell you their goals and their goals for the course. And you could tell them your goals for the organization. This is where I want to go with this project. This is how, so that way it's been mutually beneficial to both of you all. So definitely, that's just some tips I want to leave when you're working with the students. Just make sure you keep that in mind. Something, and I just want to, especially while you're on, Mirtha, because I've had questions. Something I just want to note as well is you did mention the students reach out. So you're not going to hear from like the professor or someone reaching out to you. So you might see someone, like an email from the UCF email, that's a student. So they'll reach out and say, hey, I looked at your website. I saw your program and our group is really interested in participating. So because I've had nonprofits reach out and tell me, is this real? Yes, it's real. That's how that's how that's how they reach out, from that knights.ucf, from their UCF email address. So just in case, I just want to give you all a heads up, if you're new to participating in a program, that's how that happens. They'll reach out to you. And then from there, you'll sign a service learning agreement, which you review. You'll agree to your part, and then they'll agree to their part. And I would say also around that time, or even before, is when you want to have that meeting, if possible, with the students, to make sure that it's a good fit for both of you. And I agree with Mirtha, like when you come in, you want to have something. Like if you don't have no strategic plan at all, it makes, it won't. You have to have at least a little something in place that the students can work with. So just something, keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lasheena, for touching on that email. Because unfortunately, y'all, there's one person and I gotta manage the list of partners who are coming in, but we have so many courses. I can say within a given semester, we may have 50 to 75 projects that are being done within a given semester. So it's a lot. And so the students are tasked with reaching out to the agencies directly. So you will get an email from a UCF, so-and-so at knights.ucf.edu. That's UCF's account. If you have any, I know people are scared with these emails and phishing, right? I don't blame you. People are always trying to fish here. But if you ever have a question on a correspondence that you receive from the students, feel free to reach out to me. My email is quite simple. It's mirtha.bailey@ucf.edu to confirm. And I've had agencies do that. They reach out to me and say, I got this email, is this legit? It is definitely legit. And that's how our students are tasked with reaching out to you all. So thank you for touching on that, Lasheena.
Yes. So I'm going to go to the chat box really quick. So I see Jennings says, are we able to sign up for selections for multiple semesters? For example, if you request a strategic plan for the spring and then circle back and request a different plan in the fall.
Yes, you can. You can. What I would prefer you do, however, because the agency sign-up list can become really like robust. You should, when you initially apply for a project, you have the option to list the projects that you're interested in within that one application. So let's say you want to do grant writing, you want to do strategic planning, you want to do a case study. Go ahead and put all three on that first application, because what I usually do at the beginning of every semester, I go through and I clean up. I look at what's been completed. So if you requested strategic planning and grant writing, let's say you did strategic planning, grant writing, and nonprofit case study, but you were only selected for nonprofit case study, I will keep you on that list for the following semester for the grant writing and the strategic plan. So until we've satisfied every project, I will not remove you from that list. Now, if you've gone 2 semesters and you haven't been contacted, then I would say do one of 2 things. Either reach out to me and say, hey, I haven't been contacted. I've been waiting for 6 months and I don't know what's going on. Reach out to me directly so that then I can take a more active and intentional approach to connecting you with a faculty member who will assign your project to a student group. Because within like 2 semesters, if you haven't been contacted, there's an issue, but I usually will clean up my list within every 2 semesters. Like for example, I'll clean the list up in the spring, from the summer and fall people who've enrolled from spring and summer. So basically what I'm saying is if you haven't been selected within 2 semesters, please reach out. Then especially if you really have a project that needs attention, I will then connect you with the faculty member themselves. But yeah, to answer your question, I know that was a long-winded answer, but yes.
Yep. Jennings responded. Okay, thank you. Got it. Okay. Perfect. Any other questions, please drop them in the chat box. And Mirtha, I know we talked about service learning. Is there other resources that you would like to share for groups throughout the U.S. that they can tap into at the University of Central Florida for nonprofit organizations?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, we have internships, right? Internships are another big component to our program. Our undergraduate students are required to complete an internship in order to graduate. It's a program requirement. They cannot graduate without satisfying that. And they have the ability to earn 3 to 6 credit hours. For the 3 credit hours, they have to work a minimum of 12 hours a week. For the 6 credit hours, we ask that they double that, so they have to work at least 24 hours a week. Now, with the current pandemic, a lot of things have been forced to go virtual, and it's good. It's actually a blessing or a good thing, right? Because that means that you, who may be in, I don't know why Nebraska popped up. Let's say you're an agency in Nebraska, I don't know, right? But you have a project or you need an intern, and it's a lot of work that you need to get done. We are approving virtual internships for students to work on those particular, with those agencies who are, outside of the Central Florida region, who may still need assistance. So we will allow students to do a virtual internship opportunity, but we really ask that you keep those lines of communication short, because it's virtual, right? It's so easy. There's a tendency to not, be really strict when you're virtual. So that's one resource for you. You can still do an internship. The other resource is if you have a huge project, you've been working on this big project, and you might need multiple hands or multiple eyes on it. Maybe it's a huge grant project that you're working on with a federal agency or something like that. We have, there's a senior capstone course that the undergraduate students have to complete. We can connect you with Dr. Stephanie Crick, and she can connect with you to use your agency's project as a capstone project for her class. That way you have a full-on, college class working on this project or assignment with you to make sure that you meet your goals. So we have faculty, and then thirdly, we also have the Center for Public and Nonprofit Management. Now, they're our research arm. They're the research arm of the school. To connect with them, it's a little bit more, I want to say, there's a lot of legality there because they mainly function on grants and funding. So they're not free, is what I'm trying to say. But you have the Center for Public and Nonprofit Management that is also here to help. They really work on bigger research projects that are, that you're looking to get funding for. So those are the different resources that we have for you.
Okay, awesome. So then something like the internship and the capstone project, where should an organization go to sign up, or should they be contacting you if they're interested?
Great question. So if you're interested in the capstone project, feel free to reach out to me because I am the liaison between community partners and faculty and students. So I will be the one to kind of make that connection for you with our faculty on those capstone projects. And if you're interested in getting in an internship, an intern, you want to go ahead and request an intern, there's two ways to do it. The first way is to go on to ucf.edu, type in the search box, handshake, and go ahead and fill out that handshake employer form. Handshake is our university-wide internship jobs platform. So I would advise you to use Handshake because that's the university-wide one. You're not only getting our students, but you're getting all students within UCF. Secondly is go ahead and contact me directly if you're interested in interns, because we have our own system called In Place within the School of Public Administration that we use that is strictly for our students in our programs. And we get that word out of your opportunity to our students within the school. So there's two ways you can promote your internship opportunities, either through Handshake or through In Place. Handshake is simpler. You just go onto our email, our website, and you type on Handshake and you're there. But the In Place, you will need to reach out to me and I connect you with Dr. Siegler, who kind of facilitates the Handshake platform. So those are the two ways to do it.
Okay, and then the last question I have for you, and if anyone else has any questions, please drop them in the chat box. For the interns, is there, I guess, the projects, the type of projects that the interns can work on, is that a little bit broader, or like what does that look like?
Great question. So when you take them, kind of bring on an intern, we have you complete what we call the confirmation of placement form. It's a form that is signed by the agency and the student saying that you all have agreed to take the student on as an intern, and the student has agreed to be your intern and to work with you for 3 credit hours or 6 credit hours or however much they're working with you. So that's our confirmation of placement form. Once the student is in the course and the relationship has been established, what you will receive as the agency is what we call our learning agreement. The learning agreement will break down the competencies that students are to have while interning at your agency, right? So we have to make sure that what the work or the responsibility that the student has at your agency matches what they are learning in the classroom. They have to complement each other. So that learning agreement is sent to the host site once the student starts the internship process. So we just got to make sure that what they're learning at the agency aligns with what we're teaching in the classroom.
Okay.
So
perfect. Got it.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, I don't see any more questions in the chat box. Thank you so much, Mirtha, for coming in and talking about these programs and resources available to nonprofits. It means a lot. And as nonprofit organizations, we try to get as much resources that we can to help build the capacity. And what you all are doing over there at UCF has helped, I know personally, with our organization tremendously. So I appreciate everything that you and the university does as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you for being such an amazing partner and really spreading the word about our resources and what we have to offer here. And like you said, it is free. And we know nonprofits, you guys are out here doing good, right? You're altruistic organizations. You're not in it for the, for-profit, or else you'd be a for-profit. But we appreciate you, and we want to make sure that we are able to shore up your foundation so that you can go on and be great, go on and be successful, because you are filling in those gaps where, federal agencies can't do it, or, we just don't have the capacity to do it. So we appreciate all of our nonprofits, which is why we're here, and we're a resource. And feel free to reach out to me with any questions you have, or Lasheena for any questions you have regarding UCF's resources. Thank you.
All right. Hi. Really quick, Mirtha, we have a few asking for your email address. If you say it for me again, I'm going to type it in the chat box. So it's Mirtha.
That's right. Mirtha.Bailey, B as in boy, Ailey, Bailey like the drink, at ucf.edu. And that's my direct email account, so address. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay, perfect. I shared that in the chat box as well. So to wrap this up, as you all know, we like to leave with homework. So your homework is one of the things that we've been talking about and continue to talk about is don't do it alone. In your nonprofit organization, you definitely need to bring in key partners, key interns, key universities in to help support what you are doing. So definitely don't do it alone. Please take a look at the service learning form that we dropped in the chat box. And if it's something you can benefit from, that's your homework. Go ahead and fill that form out so that you can start having students help you with growing your organization. And then last but not least, the last announcement that I have is, as a reminder, next Tuesday, we're going to be having our upcoming webinar on the 22nd at 7 p.m. on people, processes, and technology, how to grow your organization and organization capacity using people, processes, and technology. So definitely, if you have not registered, I'll drop that in the chat box. Please make sure that you register at that link. And other than that, Mirtha, I appreciate you joining us today, and thank you for the resources. I hope that some of the nonprofits were able to benefit from what was shared today. And it looked like, yes, because I see the conversations happening in the chat box. So I'm sure you're going to be have a few organizations reaching out to you. And I appreciate you again for joining us.
Thank you, Lasheena, for having me. As I mentioned earlier, you are a wonderful partner, and thank you for spreading the word. And just to piggyback on what you just said, right? It's an old proverb that you all may already know, but I like to say it anyways. And it goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So
there it is.
Nonprofits, let's all get there together.
Let's go together. You are absolutely right. Yes. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. So we will see you. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, all.